Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to Maker Mornings with Meg. I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and today's project is good for you whether it is sunny or not where you're at. We are going to use the Rainbows of Happiness stamp set and the coordinating fabulous Sunshine and Rainbows designer series paper and create a really sunny card that you're really going to enjoy. So I'm going to give you some tips. We're actually going to combine this with another border die, and today's project is one of the projects that I am going to have featured in my January 2022 Loven Stamps tutorials, the ones you get for free as a PDF when you order something from me this month. So anyway, are you guys ready to see some stamping? Let me kind of say some hellos. Hey Margie and Cheryl and, oh, I got distracted. Tanya and Doris and Kathy and everybody who's on. So I'm going to actually start off, and we are going to begin with, I have my papers already here, a piece of Bermuda Bay cardstock. And instead of turning our camera down, I'm going to show you the die cutting for this. So my recommendation is to go ahead and fold your cardstock first, because we're going to add kind of a fun extra border to this, all right? So I'm going to fold my Bermuda Bay cardstock in half just so I know where the line is on there. And then I'm going to take from the border dies, here's kind of what they look like. I used them when we did our card boxes. I used them. And so there's this one in here that's clouds. And I'm going to go ahead and angle it across our cardstock so that it's a little more at the top, a little less at the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and open our card so that it goes through like this, and pop this here on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So let's see, you want to make sure that you're careful that your die doesn't overlap the edges of your plates, because you don't want to damage that. And we'll go ahead and cut this, and then we're going to bring this back in a minute. So here is our die, and then we just take away the die cut, and we have that fun stitched edge there, kind of ready to go. So, all right, now I'm going to flip our camera down, and we are going to get started with some of the next steps on our card. So I really have been having fun with this rainbow set, and how much possibility there is for sort of mixing and matching with different elements and just all kinds of kind of fun things. So, all right, let's see, there we go. Whoops. All right, better turn that off and get this set here. All right, so let's get you guys a little closer and a little straighter. And there we almost go, sorry. Okay, sometimes I use my camera stand for other things over the weekend, recording auditions for things, and not me, my kiddos. But then my camera gets a little off, so. All right, so I'm going to bring in our pieces here. So this is going to be our card front. And for our card front, I want to use some of these clouds. These are from the Sunshine Designer Series paper, this one here. So you can get a whole sheet. And I wanted to make sure I mentioned this to you. Don't look at this and go, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 7 full clouds on here. Use these edge clouds as part of your stamping. I'm going to show you another card later that really kind of, okay, here's a sneak peek of it, makes the most of cloud edges. That'll be a card coming in another video soon. But don't throw away these edge pieces here. Don't discount those, is basically what I'm saying. So I'm going to use my cloud punch, and I'm going to do just a little trimming. Sometimes you have to trim away some of the paper. I'm kind of try and stay right in the middle to make sure you can reach the parts that you want. But I kind of want these two clouds here, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this upside down. And if you don't have the cloud punch, you can, of course, fussy cut these with paper snips. Not a big deal. But man, they sure do go quickly with the punch. So slide that on there. And remember, save those little scraps. I just probably later we'll just punch those extra pieces and put them in a piece inside my stamp case so that they're ready to go. And morning, Cindy. Cindy says, thank you very much. She said, you look cute today. This is my sewing project over the weekend. I made this little wrap sweater. So Anyway, so we are going to go ahead and layer this piece of designer series paper here on the inside of our card. Okay, so it's gonna go like this, and now we have our clouds that peek out through the edge and kind of show that rainbow, so much fun. And then we want to add a layer inside, but of course if I put this white layer in like this, it kind of diminishes that cloud effect where the rainbow kind of peeks out from the cloud. So we are going to go ahead and add in a cloud effect on the edge here. And so I'm gonna bring in my, okay, we can go ahead and glue this down because it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna bring back in that basic border die, and I'm gonna show you kind of how I eye that. It doesn't have to be an exact match, fortunately. So I'm gonna show you how I kind of just fudge that in there just a little bit. Okay, so I have this set here. I'm gonna practice the closure. No, I can see the die there, so it's probably not quite right. And it's like a little spinny. There we go. Okay, so that looks about exactly where I want it. If I can get it a little more here, then I'm not gonna have my rainbow paper be too far over. Okay, so that looks good. I'm gonna leave that for a second. Now, here's the tip for this, so that it doesn't shift when you get your die cut machine. Just grab a couple of pieces of washi tape and not moving, there we go. Pretty good still. Just go ahead and put that washi tape right over there because the washi tape will hold your die in place where you want it. And then I'm gonna bring this here, and I told you I'd bring our die cut machine back in. I'm going to go ahead and pop this in here. And again, you just wanna make sure that however you put your piece through, you don't want the edges of your die to get caught on the edges of your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because you don't want it to get bent. So just keep an eye on that. All right, so let's put this over here. It's like weightlifting. One of the nice things about the little one, actually, although you can't cut quite as large width cardstock with it. So, all right, so now we have our pieces here to go back inside like this. And now we have our clouds that are going to fit like this, okay? So now I'm not gonna stick this in yet because we're gonna do some stamping on here, and I will show you some tips for doing that. But isn't that just happy? I love the colors, I love the design, I love the shape, I love that little stitch detail. So much fun. Okay, so let's go back to the front of our card now and talk about our little clouds. So I think our little clouds are going to fit in here kind of like this on the front of our card. And then I want to use some of the stamps from the set. This one says, you make this world a better place, which I love. It is wonderful to recognize people for that kind of thing, right? So I'm gonna grab a little strip of basic white here so that we have our little stamps, and I realized I need my ink. So I have Bermuda Bay here, and so Bermuda Bay is gonna coordinate, and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this here on our, okay, didn't do a very good job. And I'll show you actually why I didn't do a good job. So this one here, you can see I didn't get it even. So when I put my stamp down, I like stamped it more on one side than the other, and you can see how that came out in the ink. But fortunately, this is a little scrap of paper, so I'm not really wasting anything. And this one was much better. You wanna make sure you get even pressure when you stamp, that you're not rocking at all, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and split this one up. I'm going to go ahead and split here. I want it to split you. I forgot what I was doing. You, and then make this world a better place. And then I'm gonna split this here. So I'm kind of keeping my lines a little bit on the parallel here as we go along. And then I'm gonna take this U here at the top and I'm gonna split it. So when you have a greeting that doesn't quite, like the shape of it doesn't quite go with your card, here I'll kind of show you what I mean. So we have this one here, and even if I trimmed this so that it was pretty tight and we have our clouds, I don't know, it kind of distracts here from like the clouds and the fun, and it's just a little blocky for me. So instead of that, let's go ahead and bring in here you, and then make this world a better place like this. And that little like scatter greeting is just a little more fun. It has a little more motion and it's a little bit more playful. So I'm kind of happy with the way that comes together. Now let's think about some of these other little stamps in here. There's these little lines here, which I'll use on a later card. There's these raindrops. There's a little hearts, which go great with this. So I thought it would be kind of fun if we went ahead and did the raindrops above the clouds and then the little hearts below the clouds. I don't know. There's something kind of poetic about that, right? So I'm not going to put a ton of them on here, maybe just a handful, kind of like that. And then I'm going to stamp the hearts below. And I am doing this before I glued anything down, so that gives me some leeway to kind of move some things to make sure that we're covering up what we need to. Okay, so the hearts are gonna go below there we go. Okay, subtle but fun. All right, so now let's go back and start gluing some things down. So I have my Stampin' Dimensionals, which are kind of my go-to adhesive a lot of the time because they let me just sort of place things where I want them to go, sort of their final spot placement. And then our other cloud is going to go up here in this space. And I kind of want them to still be on the horizontal. I'm not going to like skew them a weird way. And then let's look at these. You make this world a better place. I keep putting these blocks on here because I don't want the card to move while I'm still working on it. And so let's make this easy for ourselves. I have my take your pick tool, and I want these to go exactly where they are now. I like them right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up with my take your pick tool, put a dot of multi-purpose liquid glue on here. Let's see, and then same one here. So pick it up, pop it back down, and pick it up and pop it back down. So to keep these from looking totally random, I still have them like cut in a perpendicular line here so that the edges are still straight. You can kind of see how that works out. But the like edge, the bottom cut and the top cut are kind of done in those skewed parallels there. So whew, it's a geometry kind of day. All right, so now we need some bling for our card, clearly. And I'm going to bring in my favorite of the iridescent basic rhinestone jewels from the new mini book here. So these, I actually picked out 6 of my favorite embellishments, and there's an add-on kit for the paper share that closes tomorrow, January 11th, my LovenStamps paper share, and you get half a package of each of my 6 favorites. So kind of a neat way to get a whole bunch of choices. So if you haven't signed up for that, don't miss, because tomorrow is the last day. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and take some rhinestones and pop, I think, maybe one on here. And they come in 2 different sizes, or 3 different sizes actually. I'm gonna use 2 of them. So I'm gonna use big and biggest and pop these kind of on here to kind of keep the focus on our greeting, right? We don't wanna distract from our focal point. We wanna kind of attract to our focal point. And so there is the front of our card. And now we're gonna come back and add those rainbows on the inside. So I didn't mount these stamps ahead of time because I wanted to make sure that I showed you this tip for adding pieces to your rainbow. So these stamps here, there are a whole bunch of them in here. See, I saved my extra pieces. There are a whole bunch of them in here. And when you mount these, you want them to be sort of their native shape. You don't want them to be like gallywampus. So I have kind of a small space here. So I'm gonna leave off the top 2 sizes, and I'm gonna use the bottom 2 sizes and the overlay. So to mount this, I'm gonna lay my stamp down, let it do its natural shape, whatever it relaxes to, and then I'm gonna pick it up with my block. So same for this one. I'm gonna let it take its natural shape, and I'm gonna pick it up with a block. And then this last one, just let it rest. Let's see, I need this block back. So let me do a quick wash here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick that. No, I need a bigger block. Good thing I washed it anyway, I guess. Just pick that up, okay? So now I know that my pieces will go together really nicely because they are in their native shape, not like twisted from me sticking them down in a twisted way, okay? So let's bring in our colors. We're gonna take our colors right from this card. I really like Melon Mambo here. I know it says Magenta Madness on the package, but I think Melon Mambo is a good fit for it. So that's what I've included in my curated supply list for the month of January. And I'm gonna come here with our stamps, and we're gonna get these kind of laid out. So I'm gonna start with my largest one so that I make sure I get it not too close to the edge of the paper. So I could start with my, I could start with my smallest, but then if I get it too close, then I'm gonna run out of space for my rainbow, which isn't terrible, but you know, we're thinking ahead. So good morning, Sue and Dawn and Bonnie. So I'm gonna go ahead and use our larger here, and I'm gonna go ahead and ink this up in Bumblebee and go ahead and stamp here. Now, one of the things, if you're wondering like, wait, why did she just ink it again? When you're using your photopolymer stamps, take advantage of the fact that you can see through them. You can see the ink on that stamp. Make sure it looks evenly inked, that there's no light or dark spots, and then, you know, check that out before you stamp so that you kind of have your best go at exactly what you want. And then I'm going to take this one here. I'm going to ink it up in Melon Mambo and stamp it inside there. Okay. Then I'm going to take this outline, and I want to bring Bermuda Bay into our stamping again. So I'm going to take this fun overlay and stamp it off of here. So these rainbow stamps are all about mixing and matching. Of course, if you are going to send your card, you would want to do like a really quick match on your envelope. So, you know, you have all the pieces out, just do your envelope while you're working on everything. And then I'm going to add a little set of hearts there on the inside and here too. Actually, I think I'm going to add 2 sets there and kind of fill up that space. All right, so get our ink pads out of the way, bring our card back in here, and I'm going to go ahead and use my seal to go ahead and stick this inside our card. So if you missed the part at the beginning about how to match up those cloud shapes, you're definitely going to want to go back and check that. And I should say that when I started, this basic white piece here was 4 inches wide by 5 1/4, so that you get that border there, and then I just trim this way. Now, of course, if you're thinking ahead, you could certainly use this piece here to be like, you know, if this was the inside of your card, you could use that as a border on the edge of your card or something like that. So hang on to those because you might find a good use for them, those extra ed pieces that you took off. All right, so there is our really relatively fun and simple and definitely bright and cheery. I don't think you can beat it for bright and cheery sunshine card using the Rainbows of Happiness stamp set and the basic border dies, which I added to this. These are not the dies that are bundled with this stamp set. The ones that are bundled are these guys, which you definitely are still going to want to have. This is the card that I showed last week. So if you haven't seen this video, you're going to want to check that out. And it really makes the most of these dies here and a bunch of different pieces. And I talked last week about what I love about that coordinating die set. So there's 2 of our 4 projects for the monthly tutorials for the month of, what month is this? January, right? Happy Monday. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. If you are jazzed about the rainbows, let me know that too. And actually, I wanted to show you one more thing. I was starting to pull papers for my paper share that closes on January 11th. Oh, I think I forgot to put the link in the video description. I'll do that. But I wanted to show you these because they are so gorgeous. These are the New Horizon papers, and they are just sort of breathtaking. So I wanted to show these to you because doing paper share is a great way to get a copy of each of these papers. Some of them are more detailed, some of them are less detailed, but they are just absolutely breathtaking. So I wanted to show those to you. And then the backs of all of them as a Stampin' Up does, are sort of that more neutrally pattern with one main color maybe to just sort of give you some options for coordinating elements and so forth. So there you go. Lots of fun possibilities. All right, guys. So that is us on this fun Monday. And if you have any questions, you can't find the paper share, let me know. I'm happy to direct you in the right direction. But I am really enjoying the things from the new mini catalog, and I hope that you guys are too. Lots of great things there. And then don't forget, of course, it's Celebration. So for each $50 you order, you get a free item from the Celebration mini catalog, this one here, and of which this Sunshine and Rainbows paper is one of those free items. So don't miss your chance to add that to your Rainbows bundle. So the Rainbow Happiness bundle will be available through the end of June, because it's the January through June mini catalog. But that Designer Series paper, this is only January and February, and it's while supplies last. So I think it'll be around for a little while longer, but it will disappear at some point. So don't wait too long to get it. So, all right, guys, thanks for stamping with me this morning. I will be back on Wednesday with another project, and I look forward to seeing you then. So happy stamping, guys. Have a terrific day.